Hi, everyone. Welcome back to On Air with Brandon J. I'm joined by a special guest. She's an indie pop recording artist and songwriter, Ryn Kid. Ryn Kid, how are you?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I was at the Museum of Tolerance, so we got to meet and to see this amazing film and the song that is basically the theme of this wonderful film. I mean, it brought so much emotion. In my opinion, you could not have a better song that described and kind of wrapped everything in a pretty nice little bow, other
Oh,
than just an incredible song.
thank you so much. That means the world. Yeah, that was definitely our goal with it is, how do we conclude this film that's so monumental and powerful but uplifting? So I'm glad to hear that we nailed it on the head. Me and my co-writer Andrew Furs and I really took the time to make sure it did that. So
Definitely. And to hear the emotion of the vocal,
mm,
it was like in my opinion, if I'm listening to you sing the lyrics of the song, it
mm.
sounds like you were back then in that time period.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that means so much. Honestly, like that's what's wonderful about songwriting
Yes.
and particularly about love songs is like even though you may not have experienced the story that we actually wrote, tried to inspire that song with, it's all the themes of love and overcoming and like I get really ultimately the song However Long Forever is about like uncertainty but diving into love even though you're uncertain of how long it'll last or if it'll survive the test of time, whatever those themes are, it's so relatable for each person. So even though I couldn't even imagine what Joseph and Rebecca Bow went through, their love story and the way that they committed to one another with that huge level of uncertainty is something that I think everybody can relate to. And so I was really singing from my point of view. And actually, at the time that I'd written the song and recording the song, I had just started dating my boyfriend, and so I was in this new, like, exciting, scary love. So I was really singing from like a personal place when we were recording.
Wow. Well, you mission accomplished. Like that song definitely deserves to win awards. I'm gonna play it right after our interview today. I'm excited to play it because I was like, you sent me the record about a week ago, and I was like, okay, should I add it? I was like, no, we're just gonna debut it when I have you on the show.
Cool, sweet, I love it.
So speaking of music, Ryn Kid, what other songs have you released, and what has been the inspiration behind the title and the lyrics and the tone of these songs?
Yeah, so this whole year I've been rolling out an EP. And it's been an interesting experience because most people that make music, they usually have all the songs and the whole EP planned out before they start releasing. But I've kind of been doing things backwards where I decided to make an EP from the first single that I released. After I released it, I was like, this is so fun. I want to make this a bigger project. So I started off with my release in June with the song called Dreamboat Baby, which was this really fun, summery, kind of like tongue-in-cheek, sexy summer love song that I wrote actually the year prior. And when I wrote it, I was just kind of writing it for the hell of it, just for fun. I like didn't even think that I would release it, and I honestly forgot about it for a while. And then I was like, you know what, I gotta get this out. Let's do it for summer. And I started making content and promoting it, and the reception to the song was huge. Everybody was like so into it. And I just honestly had so much fun like working on this song and making content for it that I was like, this should be a longer project. So then after that song, I wrote and then released the song called Unlearn You, which is basically the antithesis of Dreamboat Baby. So if Dreamboat Baby is like the dream, it's the romance, I guess the unrealistic idealization
Yeah.
of what love can be. And Unlearn You is the reality, the getting cold feet, the ooh, I don't know if this is right for me, like kind of I call it like the runner side of me. The person that like wants to run away from commitment and obligation and wants to just break free. And so that was the second song, and then I actually have another song releasing next week, next Tuesday, October 14th, called Stud. And this one
Wow.
So this is a four-song EP, and basically the gist of the EP, actually the EP is titled "The Dreamer, the Runner, the Lover, and the Gold Digger," and
Interesting.
yeah, so it's basically my four alter egos of how I experience and feel about love. So there's like a part of me that does idolize love and romanticize it, and there's a part of me that wants to run away from it. There's a part of me that wants to commit everything that I have to it. That's the lover. And then there's the part of me that wants to use being young and being a woman to make money, like a gold digger would.
I was gonna ask you, but you just answered that question for me.
Yep. I am all about like I'm not ashamed to like admit anything, and I think like every woman my age sees how people can profit from sugar daddies and everything. And of course we're interested in them. We're like, how crazy would that be if that was my job?
Kanye
But
said it best on his song years ago.
yes. Yes.
So
So yeah,
so
it's really just yeah, so go
y-
ahead.
you have been compared, and you being very modest, right? So folks out there, don't let her fool you. She has been compared to the likes of Stevie Nicks, okay, Janis Joplin, Cher. Those are some really big shoes to fill.
Yes, yes they are.
Out of those artists, who would you say, or any artist for that matter, who would you say are some of your biggest influences and why?
Hmm. I would say Cher is probably my biggest influence because she really was such, I mean, she was so one of a kind, especially in that day and age, and she was not afraid to exploit, or I should say, share what made her unique and different than every other, white female artist in
Right.
pop music at that time. She was like, I'm different, I'm native, like here I am, like hear me roar kind of thing. And she's such a like iconically powerful character without needing to be, I guess, overly loud. She has like this silent strength about her that I really admire, and it so shows through in everything that she does, every way that she presents, and all of her songs. I will say, like, my music is definitely more current day than those icons. I think there's just like an essence about the way that I'm approaching my music, my like strength, my vulnerability, my here it all is like not afraid to hide anything about who I am and what I'm here to say. That I really feel like resonates with those icons.
In terms of info on Google, right? Because we can Google you, we can type you into Chat GBT. What is a fun fact that nobody knows about Ryn Kid?
Okay, yes, this is like the best question. There's so many funny ones. Okay, my go-to one that it's just kind of silly, but I'm obsessed with marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Marshmallows. I know how that sounds, but I used to have like a marshmallow collection when I was a kid. And when I tell you like collection, I mean I had like 20 different bags of marshmallows, different shapes, different colors.
Was it inspired by the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters years ago?
Probably somewhere subconsciously, I think so. I don't know. That's just like one of my little random fun facts.
That is something that you I have not been able to Google, so that is definitely a fun fact. Ryn Kid, with being a indie songwriter and pop artist, uh, do you feel that it's very difficult to crack the mold when you are breaking into the industry when it comes to promoting? Because now you're not just talking about one song, you're talking about an entire EP.
Yeah,
So
100%.
so do you feel that that is a very difficult job, or do you feel it's something that you can obtain?
It's a really good question. I think that's kind of like the biggest question nowadays with how the marketing world has changed, particularly for music. Um, and I would say both. Both. It's really hard to market yourself as an artist and market your music without it feeling like marketing. Because that's the thing is as soon as somebody feels like they're being marketed to, it drives them away. And music shouldn't be something that you're trying to sell to people. It's something that they should come for and they should want for. So it is really hard to figure out how to get the song and yourself that exposure without it feeling forced or like you're trying to sell, any cosmetic to somebody. I think also too, there's so much competition, and there's also so many people are like mimicking one another. So it's really hard to know how to break out of the the average way to promote your music, like to come up with something unique and different, and to put yourself out there and take that risk is really difficult. And especially when you think like the majority of the time you want to spend on songwriting and singing and like making this music. You don't want to be with your phone filming TikToks for, 5 days a week. So it is like the biggest hurdle with music, but I really do think when you're following inspiration, then you can't go wrong. If you're feeling inspired to create some visual idea for your song, absolutely do it. Don't let all those thoughts about how is this, marketable, or how are people gonna know to stream my song, like don't let any of that get in the way of following the inspiration and bringing your creativity to the visual level.
You said it right because it is very difficult. I mean, even if you have a podcast for that matter, right? You
Mhm.
don't want to be advertising it like, oh no, here we go again. Here's another show about the same crap that we don't want to hear, right? If we want to listen to a 3 hour podcast, we can go listen to Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah,
And that's the
right.
reality. So it's like, how do we to convey the message of who we're interviewing, right? And sum it up in a nice summary where we're not taking too much time, but at the same time we're accomplishing what we set out to accomplish. It's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same formula each episode. You would think, okay, I do it once, I don't have to do it anymore. But I know I can relate to what you're talking about. But it sure helps when you have your voice as the theme song of a feature film. You've been on billboards, magazines. You're killing it right now, Ryn Kid. So
Thank
congratulations. You're already a step ahead in the right direction without question. Something I want to know, right? If
you.
you could go into the studio and even maybe step on stage and collaborate with that bucket list artist, who would it be and why?
They have to be alive, right?
They have to be alive.
Okay. I've got to go with Remy Wolf. She's one of my,
Interesting.
yeah, she's one of my favorite artists. Not only because her music is incredible, it's so groovy. Like there isn't a single sh song that she writes that doesn't make you want to dance and move, and that's something that I'm really trying to achieve with my music too. But she also just she's such a carefree person. She's just like exactly who she is, comes as crazy as unhinged and as fluidly creative as she is. And I think that would just be like the coolest session. Like that would be so much fun to work with a person like that. I think we would just have the best time and make like the coolest art, just, free and exploring with unique sounds and different genre blending. And yeah, I think it would be a vibe.
My last question for you today. What is some advice you can give out there to that pursuing recording artist or songwriter or producer?
Hmm. I would say the sooner that you can learn that you have to do everything yourself, the better, because then you can start learning how to do everything yourself. And I'm talking about marketing, I'm talking about production too. If you can become your own producer, I mean, the world is your oyster.
I mean, you
Uh,
got AI now, Ren Kid.
I know,
I
I
mean, you can do stuff that is like mind blowing. And it's like, did I really write this? And then you play it out and then it kicks it out in like 30 seconds. And it's like, this would have taken weeks and months to put together previously
I know,
before.
and that's the scariest thing. I mean, we would have to have a whole other interview just about that. But yeah, I mean,
Yes.
that's so true. We have such a wonderful tool at our disposal now. It has made the difficult job of learning how to produce and learning all these new techniques made it so much easier because we have like an assistant to help us get there. I do think there is a lot of value in trying to learn how to create sound dynamics yourself because that's just going to help elevate your knowledge about music and about your creativity. So I encourage people to actually learn how to really produce it themselves. But yeah, you can have a plugin that tells you what sonics your song is missing and what you need to add here and there. So yeah,
I
100%.
mean,
No,
Ableton, the list goes on. I don't know about you, but I just want to step up to the keys right now and play 1564, and that's all. That is it for
yes.
me. Ryn Kid, we are about to play your song. Before we play your song, where can we follow you on social media?
Yeah, you guys can find me on everything at RYN_KID. And honestly, if you just search Ryn Kid, RYNKID, I'm gonna pop up. So we'll see you there.
Ryn Kid, thank you so much for being a special guest. All right, guys, here is the premiere of However Long Forever Is. Right